You keep scrolling on your Instagram and you wonder, why the hell is everyone having a better life than me? And how on earth are they always so good looking? So well put together. And the more you do that, the more you feel confused because now you're so sure that you want to do better, but at the same time you feel overwhelmed and, above all, very late. The more you think about how late you are compared to all these successful and happy people your age, and how you would have been so much better if you started years ago like you said you would but didn't, and time passed quicker than you imagined, the more you feel like you might as well waste a little bit of hours or days. Because first of all, you need to recover from the shock of discovering that you wasted years. And secondly, well, a few days are nothing compared to the years you wasted, right? So you tell yourself, for the 784th time, that you'll start after a few days. Even though you know deep inside that that is the exact excuse that led you to waste years doing nothing. Guilty enough? All right, I needed to make you confront your reality before starting to discuss your way out. Because one of the reasons why you are stuck is that you don't even want to face the fact that your brain is the one enemy that can actually block your success. Like for real. Now, I am not here to lecture you. I'm here to help you reclaim control over your life, because that's where real power begins. And now I want you to do something. We don't need too much theory. We need to put things on the table and start actually taking action, right? And I know that your main problem right now is that you don't even know where to start. So, take a piece of paper or your notes or whatever you want, and I need you to write down 3 lists. 1. All the things you hate about your life, including relationships, financial situation, appearance, health, anything you think makes your life harder. 2. The exact reasons why each of those things you hate is in your life. 3. If there were 20 actions you could do that would make all the things you hate in your life disappear, what are they? List them. All right. Let's continue. Now you have a list of 20 different actions that, of course, still feel overwhelming. But I asked you to write down 20 different things for a reason. It's usually halfway through the list that your brain starts giving you the real ideas, not just the obvious ones. And you probably think there is way more work to do than there actually is. So the next step is, we're going to cut that list in half. One by one, I need you to delete any action you think feels vague or unnecessary, until you have 10 actions that you are sure are enough to change your life. I know, even 10 feels like too much, but don't worry, we're not done yet. First, make sure your 10 actions are specific. I don't want to see any lose weight or learn a new language. How many pounds do you want to lose? How fluent do you want to be, and in which language? You get me? Okay, step 3. In front of every single action, write a deadline, but be objective and realistic. Don't tell me you want to lose 30 pounds in 2 weeks. That's not possible, and even if you somehow make it, that will be in the most unhealthy and unsustainable way possible. So write for each action an amount of time that is feasible, healthy, and realistic, that won't overwhelm you, so that you make sure you won't be procrastinating again. I want you to be doing your work every day but still be able to have a life. Now that you have the amount of time needed for each action, I want you to circle 3 specific actions. 1. The one that takes the least amount of time to be accomplished. 2. The one that makes you happy for even thinking about accomplishing. For example, if you have a business you want to start working on, and even just imagining it being successful gives you butterflies, bingo, that one. 3. The one that will take the longest. So now we're getting more serious. You now have in front of you 3 actions. One that will make your life better in a relatively short amount of time, one that keeps you excited about your progress, and one that you will work on slowly and won't stress out about. Step 4. Leave the remaining 7 actions. I will tell you what to do about them later. But for the 3 actions you selected, take another piece of paper and write every single thing you need to do for each action to be accomplished. For example, if your action is start my YouTube channel, you'll need to write down all the steps to take, such as decide on my niche, describe my audience, learn video editing basics and practice for 1 hour daily, find a name that suits my content, write my description, write my first script, etc. Step 5. I need you to write in front of each little step. We're going to call it a sub-action. Another realistic deadline, how many times a week you will be working on it. And for the ones you need to do daily, just write 7 days a week, or feel free to write 6 days a week. If you feel like there is a day when you would want to just take a break and relax. Now that you have deadlines for each sub-action, Do the math and adjust the deadlines for each one of those 3 big actions. I'm curious, did you get it perfectly? Or did you overestimate or underestimate one of them? All right, let's keep working. We're almost there. Step 6. I want you now to use a Google Sheet, Excel, or just a table you write on paper, whatever you feel comfortable with. Trace a table for each week of the following 3 months, so 12 weeks. Starting from week 1, write down the things that you will be doing each week from your sub-actions. You can repeat them on other weeks depending on how much time they need. For example, if your sub-action takes 3 days and you will be working on it 3 days in the same week, just write it once in the table that corresponds to the week you'll be working on it. If, on the other hand, you know your action will take a month to finish, write it on 4-week tables that follow each other, starting from the week you know you will be starting it in. Keep distributing your sub-actions across the weeks until you have none left. If you still do, you will be adding them to other weekly tables once you finish all this in 3 months. Now, if you have one or more of the 3 big actions that is already done before the end of the 3 months, here is what we're going to do. Step 7. I need you to go back to your list of 10 actions, where you kept your other 7 actions. Now pick again one or more to replace any action that's done before the 3 months are over. You know the drill. Do the sub-actions for it, set a deadline, and start distributing the sub-actions on the weekly tables, starting of course from the week where one of the 3 big actions was finished. The goal here is to have 3 actions going on at the same time for the whole 3 months. So even when one is done, you'll have another one started, and you'll always be working on 3 different things at the same time. Once the 3 months are over, keep repeating the same process. Continue what's still in progress, and replace any finished action by adding one of the remaining ones from your list. I hope I didn't confuse you. If you feel confused about any part of this, write me a comment, and I will be responsive and help you as soon as possible. All right, now last step. Step 8. And if you're still following, you also 8. You're doing a great job. Okay, let's continue. Under each weekly table, I want you to write the word score. This is going to keep you accountable. At the end of each week in the future, you'll divide the number of sub-actions that you have done by the total number of sub-actions of the week. So if you have 10 actions to be accomplished in that week, and you only did 7 of them, the score will be 7 divided by 10, which is 0.7. That means you would have accomplished 70% of your weekly work. Next to that score, you'll have to write down the real reason why you didn't finish 100% of the sub-actions. Each remaining sub-action will automatically be transferred to the next week, which means you will be having way more work to do. That's accountability, and that's supposed to scare you enough to avoid leaving remaining sub-actions at the end of the week. Do it, even if no one is watching. This last step is very important, because if your boss or teacher tells you to do certain work and gives you a deadline, I know you will do it. Why? Because you don't want to disappoint them, or at least, you don't want to feel humiliated. So respect yourself enough to keep yourself accountable, just like your own boss. Because if you don't, years will go by and your future self will be so mad at you. 3 months will pass so fast, just like the years that you lost doing nothing. But this time, if you follow this plan you just made yourself, you will look behind and feel more free than any other time. Even if in those 3 months you would have had less free time, the fact that you advanced more than you did in years will make you see another version of you. A version that is not ashamed of being so far away from their goals. A version that is closer than any other time to success and happiness. And trust me, that satisfaction is worth it. Now you have a plan of what to do for 3 months to get every day closer to your goals. You have no reason to say you're lost. And you can't possibly say that you don't know how to start your things. The only thing that can stop you now is yourself. This being said, tell me now. Your life is a game. Are you a player or a watcher?